In this just-in-time training, I'll be discussing gamification. By the completion of this JIT, my goal for you is that you will have the ability to add in a question to your Quizizz game, either through your own creation or through the teleport feature, start a live game, and assign a game as a homework classwork assignment. All right. I will begin with a Quizizz game I have already created, since it is easier to show this when something is there already. If you are starting totally from scratch, you would want to use the create button on the left. All right, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to say edit. So here's my game. I'm going to edit it. All right. Then your first option would be to teleport a question from the Quizizz library. So I could go in there, and since I'm talking about transformations, I can go, and it'll give me some options. All right, so I can go in, and I could just pick a game about transformations. And if I wanted to add the question, I click the add question button. Okay, so it's really simple to just teleport in a question. You just have to kind of go through and actually make sure that it's something you want, it meets your standard, all that kind of different stuff. All right. Another thing you could do is add your own question. Okay, so if I want to do that, I'm going to say new question. All right, you have a ton of different options. All right, I'm going to go simple. I'm just going to make it multiple choice. All right, so multiple choice. All right, type your question in here. I'm going to first add an image that I grabbed. All right, so I have something that I want to talk about. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to drag it in. All right, save. All right, then I need to type in the question. So I'm going to say which describes all right, so it's which describes the translation from object A to object B. So what's happening? All right, so I'm going to say up 3 units, left 2 units, right 2 units down. All right, so I have some options. All right, the correct answer, so it's going here to here, so it's moving 1, 2 spaces over. 1, 2 spaces over to the right. So I'm going to say 2 spaces to the right. All right, now that's my correct answer. Now I save. All right, so those are your two different options when you want to add in a question. You can teleport it, or you can just add in your own. All right, so I'm going to save now, get me back to the main page. All right, so here's my quiz. Now that that's done and you are happy with your game, you can start a live Quizizz game. To do so, click on the Start a Live Quiz link. All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to click on the link. All right, it brings up two options. All right, you can play a classic game or you can play an instructor-based game. If you play the classic game, the students will play at their own pace once the game started. If you do a instructor-paced game, all right, it's controlled by you, and the students can't move on until you allow them to. All right. So if I click on it, all right, there's a couple different options. You can play as a team where it puts them in teams. You can play classic where it's just one-on-one. You can play test mode where it asks the questions like a test example. That's pretty much it. All right, so we're going to go back. All right. If you want to assign your game as a homework or a classwork for the students to do on their own time, you click the assign homework link. All right, now with this one, you're given a bunch of options. So you're given a due date. You can make it where there is no deadline. All right. I'm going to just pick today's date or tomorrow's date so we can get the game in. All right. So once you set a deadline, you click on the assign link. All right. So I'm going to assign. It will take you to the assign page where different options are given to you. You can share the link, or if your school's LMSs are there, you can click on that to add the game. All right. So I have the copy link. This is the one I do. Like I have Schoology as my LMS, but I always think it's easier to just copy the link and add the link in. But if you use Google Classroom, you can assign it through that. If you have Canvas, you can assign it through that. Schoology, Teams, Remind, and Twitter. Remind will send out a remind blast if you use it, and Twitter will send it via your Twitter page. But once you assign it, I always just copy the link, all right, and then it's there, all right. If you don't want to put it on an LMS, all right, you also have the option to have the kids go to joinmyquiz.com and enter in the game code, all right. So that's always an option, all right. That is pretty much all you have to do to assign, all right. Let me go back to the home page here. All right, so a quick recap of what we were doing. All right, if you want to add in a question, all right, you're just going to go into edit. You always have the option to teleport a question, so it's just you type in what you want to talk about. It'll bring up options and you can add it in. All right, if you're going to create your own, you type in new question. This will pop up. You have tons of options. So you got matching, you got fill in the blank, you got reorder. You can draw. There's an open-ended question where the kids have to give the response, a video response where you can put in the video and have the kids reply, an audio response where they have to talk. All right. There's a poll if you want them to poll, and a slide if you want to make a slide. That's for Quizizz lessons. That's a little different. All right. But it gives you a bunch of different options there. All right. Then if you get there, all right, and you want to play the game, you're going to go start a live game. You got classic or instructor paced. All right. If you're going to do instructor paced, understand that that is at your pace. The students don't get to work at their own. If you do classic, you're given 3 options: team, classic, or test. And then finally, if you want to assign it as a homework or classwork assignment, all right, you can go in here. You can set a deadline or you can make it no deadline, and it will expire after 6 months. And then you assign. All right. Once you assign, it will bring it up for you. All right. So there's our transformations game. And you'll get either the link, a chance to add it to Google Classroom, a chance to add it to Canvas, a chance to add it to Schoology. All right. So I hope my JIT training was helpful for you. By the end of this, hopefully you are able to add a question to your Quizizz game, either on your own or by the teleport option. You have learned how to start a live quiz, and you have the ability to assign homework. Thank you.